Memphis Wrestling is live. Get ready for all the fun at Dave & Buster's in Memphis. May 8th is our free WWE WrestleMania Backlash watch party. Then, Sunday, May 15th, bring the family to Dave & Buster's for live Memphis Wrestling. Again, that's live Memphis Wrestling, absolutely free inside Dave & Buster's. May 29th is huge. Not only is it our next live TV taping featuring MLW star Mads Kruger, but when Memphis Wrestling is finished, head over to Dave & Buster's to watch AEW Double or Nothing absolutely free. And on June 18th, Memphis Wrestling returns to Black Rock, Arkansas to benefit the Black Rock Entertainment Committee. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com.
Join us for our 5th annual All Episodes Memphis in May. Featuring Justin Cole, The Young Goats, The Posse, Justin Starr, Missouri Renegade, and many more. All Episodes Memphis in May.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition
American Hostile Championship Wrestling is on tour. It is a hostile takeover on May 7th, Luxor, Arkansas, at the Charles Strong Center. For ticket information, call 636-232-3313. Tickets are $12 at the door and $10 in advance. American Hostile Championship Wrestling on tour will include Rude, Chris Hayes, Trent Daniels, Jason Vaughn, The Young Goats, Denzel Rollins, The Posse, Derek the King, Mark Southern Jr., Big Jag Parker, Justin Case, Austin the Reaper Bolo, the LA Hustlers, Cookie St. James, Brett Michaels the Gun Show, Van Vicious, and many, many more. Memphis Wrestling and American Hostile Championship Wrestling superstars. Be there! Follow American Hostile Championship Wrestling on Facebook by searching American Hostile Championship Wrestling. Cards are subject to change. Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.SpunkLube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are we doing this? Wait for it. Wait for it. Pow! It's time for What the Fuck. Every first episode of the month, Brian and Lance look over the crazy wrestling and MMA stories of the month. Welcome, What the Fuckers, What the Fuck Buddies, What the Fucking Ears, What the Fuck Nicks, What the Fuck Yourselves, What the Fuck Nuts, and whatever the fuck you want to call yourselves. That's right, guys. This is What the Fuck for it. Wait for it. Here's Brian and Lance.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for Cassette Wrestling News. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne, John Seaton sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
Thanks for joining us for episode 5 of Cassette Wrestling News. Something was wrote on the cassette of this one. I'm thinking it said episode 27. I looked up dates and everything. It looks like this was recorded in October of 1990 as Eddie Gilbert came back home to book Memphis Wrestling. Tell me about Eddie and your friendship with him.
I honestly don't know how or where it happened, but we kind of hit it off, and he would randomly call me and torment me. I mean, Eddie would break kayfabe. He would talk about the business, but I remember one distinct time he called me on a late Monday night after the Memphis house show, and he goes, "Boy, you gonna see a good one on not this Saturday, next Saturday." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Wait till you see this." And I'm like, "God dang it, you have to tell me." He would not tell me. And it was the giant fireball that was about 6 foot tall that he threw at Lawler. And he was so proud of the fireball that he had to call me on a Monday night.
That's so funny because I saw Lawler the Saturday night after that. And that fireball got his eyebrows.
Yep.
It got he looked so funny. I walked in and I was like, I kept looking at him and oh man, your eyebrows. He goes, he said, "You saw TV?" And I go, "I did, but I didn't know how close the fireball got, but it was a huge fireball."
Well, that's what Eddie was saying. He goes, "I put a couple extra pieces of paper in it." And if you ever find that video, you'll know the fireball was probably not your typical, 3 foot fire.
Oh, it's huge. Yes.
Yeah, it was probably
it's solid too. It's real solid. Yeah. Good fireball. He talks, open with you about NWA contract, his Ric Flair heat, ESPN booking Memphis, Lawler Funk. We even find out about Gilbert's interview, Gilbert's dog in this interview. He talks about the Lawler car angle, him getting a call from Bruce Pritchard. And then we get some stuff from John Arezzi's show, and I've talked to John, so guys don't try to snitch on me. John's spotlight. There's a clip with Larry Sabisco, and Sabisco just goes off on the business. We have a little bit of stuff about Chris Champion being arrested, but you didn't know the story yet. More stuff from Eddie Gilbert. He talks, and then Doug talks a little bit, and then you review Wrestling Riot. So there you go.
Oh boy, I hope it was a good one.
It was. I think I can't remember, man. I've sat through these tapes and they've been fun. But it is one of those things where there's so much on each tape. I hope y'all guys enjoy this. The Eddie Gilbert interview is classic from October of 1990. Sit back and listen.
All right, I'm here in Evansville, Indiana with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Eddie, it's nice to have you back in your home area, I guess you'd say that. And how's things been going for you?
It's been great. The best part of it all is coming back home and seeing things turn around the way they have. And let's just hope that they stay turned around and maybe come up even some more.
Now, a lot of people, they'd say they didn't believe that you were really injured in the NWA and you asked to be let out of the contract. And I don't know, I thought I'd give you the chance to tell your side of the story, and in all fairness.
Well, first off, I'd like to start off by saying that for a guy who was pushed down to the bottom of the barrel in the NWA, it seems like all of a sudden when I made the statement that I was hurt and I went out of my contract, I became a person that you would have thought was either in Ric Flair or Sting's position by all the print I got and the way everybody took after it like I'd done robbed the bank or something. And the way I felt was I was hurt. I was going through a lot of things, and around May of this year that were kind of happening pretty bad for me. I had a lot of bad luck on a lot of stuff. I was injured on May 5th, and on May 5th I knew I'd had enough, and I couldn't take it anymore as far as taking bumps in the ring and taking crazy bumps in the ring. It wasn't worth it anymore to me to be doing it for the NWA. It wasn't worth it to me anymore to be doing it in the first match. It wasn't worth it to me doing it on TV, putting somebody over, and I just kind of got tired of it. Nobody else knows the pain that I've gone through, and nobody else can ever feel that. I'll be the only one ever to know that. I'm the one going through it now. I'm still going through it. I'm doing it because I love this promotion here. I don't necessarily love the promotion. I love the area. It's my home area, and I would have probably done anything I could have. Even if I'd had 2 broken arms, a broken leg, I'd have probably come back here and done whatever I could for this promotion more than I would the NWA. I don't care anything about the NWA. They didn't care anything about me, but I care about this promotion. As far as what everybody thinks about me being injured, for those who have the opinion that I'm not or haven't been hurt, they can cram it. I don't care. I'm the only one, like I said, that knows how the pain feels, and I'm still going through it.
Are there any hard feelings towards Jim Herd or any of the NWA personnel?
There's no hard feelings towards Jim Herd at all. He's probably the man I have more respect for than anybody else there. He's not a bad person. He takes a lot of slams from everybody, let's say it that way. He gets bashed a lot around here and there for making crazy decisions, and he does do that, but he just doesn't know our wrestling business. He's not like you or myself who have dedicated ourselves to this profession. He was a pizza man before this, a director, so he's got a lot to learn about the business. As far as everybody else there, it's just dog eat dog there. Nobody is in a team effort there. Nobody really cares about if the NWA does good. The only thing they care about is if that person does good. If Jim Ross, the only thing Jim Ross cares about is his face on TV. All he cares about is if he's on the front of the torch or if he's in the Meltzer's sheet or Steve Beverly's doing an article about him. Nobody there cares about the NWA in itself. They just want they're very selfish, and until they all come together as a team, then it's never going to work.
You and Ric Flair have had some controversy quite a bit. What's that all about? It never really made any statements in any of the sheets or anything to what it was all about.
Well, I don't know when you get right down to the root of the problem, but it hurt me a lot. It hurt a whole lot, the situation with me and Ric Flair, because I looked up to him. He was all my life when I was a kid. I looked up to Jerry Lawler. He was my childhood idol, hero. As I growing up and as I started in wrestling and got to watch Ric Flair and be around him and got to go out partying with him and so forth, I really looked up to him and thought what a great wrestler and what probably one of the greatest of all time. Then as in this profession, like 3 years ago when I was named booker for Bill Watts in the UWF, when Jimmy Crockett bought the promotion, I thought, wow, I can't wait to see my friend Ric Flair. And because I thought I had done good getting to be a booker and being in the booking position. Well, the first night that I saw Ric Flair, he just walked past me, never shook my hand, and that was 3 years ago. So I knew that there had been a change, and what had happened was I came up on Ric Flair's level. He had always wanted to be a booker. I didn't know that. And as things went on, and what it wound up being was me in competition with him for the job of booker. He also held it against me because he hates Jerry Lawler. He made a statement to me one night at Center Stage in Atlanta. He says, "Who do you think you are, Jerry Lawler?" And my answer's always been no. But I think one of the biggest gripes that Ric Flair has about me is that my relationship with Jerry Lawler, and that seems to be the center of everything.
I never really knew that.
Nobody does.
You've been known to turn small promotions around and such. I mean, I've never seen anything like this place. The first night you came back, there were almost 800 people in here, and the week before there were, say, about 150. And how do you do it, Eddie? I want to know.
Well, see, a lot of people, too, you got to realize, I'm sure yourself, I've heard you say it before, and the Dave Meltzers, the Wade Kellers, the Steve Beverlys, and every wrestling fan out there, one way or the other, has ideas. They have ways that they would book a promotion. They have ways that they feel that things would work. Well, this guy sitting here talking to you has, since I was around 10 or 11 years old, I was writing out fictitious booking matches. I made out tournaments. I did everything when I was growing up. I'd get in my room by myself, get the typewriter out, and I'd start typing wrestling cards. And it's like it was homework for me. It's very easy for me. It's very easy just to walk in, and it's a lot of fun. The bigger the challenge, the better for me. And coming back to this place here and doing it is just like a dream come true, because this is where, if you would ask me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if you're ever going to be a booker, Eddie, or where will you be a booker at the first time, I would have said the Memphis promotion. And this is the first time to get to come back home and book here. I know this promotion better than any other promotion. I know this area better than any other area. In a way, I feel like I've already booked it doing those little fictitious cards, because that's actually what I was doing. So it's easy to come in here to do that, and the best is yet to come. I just started my first TV. You'll be seeing it this coming Saturday. I did it in Memphis this past week. The whole hour and a half was mine, and from now on, all the TVs will be mine. And I think you'll be even seeing a lot more better stuff. A lot more talent's going to be coming in. We got different champions and different titles coming back that haven't been here. And but I don't mean to sound sarcastic or egotistical or anything like that. It's just easy for me, and it comes natural.
Speaking of new talent coming in, a lot of the people aren't paying attention to this tournament coming up, and I think they're really going to regret it. Steve Williams, Terry Funk, and numerous others coming in. How do you think they're going to react when it turns out to be one of the biggest shows of the year and they didn't come to it?
Well, I think they'll just make up for it later, because you're talking about Steve Williams and Terry Funk. We've already got confirmed for those two individuals and herself, and Dick Murdoch and Dick Slater, Steve Kern, people like that. They'll be coming into Memphis. Steve Kern's going to be here next week, as a matter of fact. Dick Slater is. But here in Evansville. And after the tournament's over with, these people like the Murdochs and the Funks and Slaters and Kerns and so forth are going to make rounds through here 2 and 3 weeks later. So if they miss the tournament, that's okay. It's just they're going to miss a hell of a night of wrestling and seeing the new champion crown. But they're also going to get to see them later on. So it's no big deal.
What kind of pressures were put on you when you were in the, quote, booking committee in the NWA? And I know there were a lot of politics, and a lot of people wanted a lot of people out, and I never really understood the booking committee concept. What was that all about?
Well, the booking committee concept could have worked, and the whole thing goes back to something I said earlier. It's about a team effort, and that's exactly what the booking committee was. It was a team of bookers, and the goal was for that team of bookers, the minds together, to get the crowds up, book better matches, and have great TVs, because it's 7 hours of TV a week to book. And in doing that, you could have given each person on the committee one of those shows, the NWA Pro show, you could give them a Worldwide show, the TBS show. But instead, everybody on the committee was selfish. I went into the committee thinking that, hold it just a minute. Okay. I went into the committee thinking that, I guess I was a naive young one. I was thinking that we were all in there thinking the same thing, and that was to get the NWA back up. So I went there all eager, giving these ideas, that ideas, doing the TVs and already having them done and coming in with them. And it made a lot of other people mad that was on the committee, the Ric Flairs, the Jim Rosses, the Kevin Sullivans, who were sitting across the table all the time thinking, how could they become booker? And that's where the committee fell apart. It wasn't a team. They're all self-centered, and they just worried about themselves. And that's what happened with it. So,
You feel that the most pressure of an organization is put on the booker?
Oh, definitely. That's everything that happens. If a match, if from a match going too long or something like that, or too short, every little thing, minor detail goes on a booker. That's the person that everybody can point fingers at when anything goes wrong. But on the other hand, too, it goes there when it does right.
And what do you think the biggest problem, the biggest fall in attendance? What do you think's caused this in the past several years?
In the NWA or
in any area?
Oh, I think the biggest fall in attendance is just the wrestling on television. There's just, it's good for people that are wrestling fans that want to watch it, but it's just, why are you going to go out and pay to see it if you can just turn your TV on anytime? Used to, if you want to watch it, you always waited for the weekends, and then you can see hours upon hours of wrestling. And now, in the afternoon, if you just turn the TV on, especially like ESPN or something, or late night for prime time on the USA, you get to see it all the time. And so it's not really worthwhile for people to really say, well, let's go to the matches tonight. They'd rather just sit at home and watch it.
You were talking about ESPN there. Is that contract still in effect? I've heard two reports this week that they're not going to take the USWA, and I've heard one that they are.
Well, for those people that come to Memphis on October 8th, this Monday night, they'll see the cameras there, and those matches are going to be in the tournament are going to be shown on ESPN. And so everything's in effect. The USWA will still be on ESPN, and I can't wait to see the tournament matches on there.
I can't wait either. I think with a lot of this new talent coming in, that basically I thought that this place was getting stale, and you showed up, quadrupled attendance and everything, and then it sort of dwindled back down, and due to the politics in pro wrestling, nobody can move from organization to organization, and now you're accomplishing this, and I think the attendance is going to come back up once again.
Well, I think, like I said, the best is yet to come, and we're bringing the Southern Heavyweight title back as the when you hold that, it'll be the number one contender for the USWA World title. You're going to see Jeff Jarrett, Bill Dundee matches. You're going to see Eddie Gilbert, Bill Dundee, Eddie Gilbert, Jeff Jarrett matches. You're going to be. I'm real happy to see Danny Davis back here. He's a shot in the arm for us. Brickhouse Brown is coming up. He's been always, I think, held back and held down, and now he's coming up. And there's a couple other people that we're talking to, and the best is yet to come. That's all I can say.
I heard you may be negotiating with Rick Steamboat coming in here.
Yeah, we're talking to Ricky about. He's in Japan, we're going to Japan now, just like Bigelow and Doc are. And Ricky has already agreed to work. He wants to work here and come through here at least for a week or a 2-week swing. So sometime between now and at least Thanksgiving or Christmas, Ricky Steamboat will be through here.
That's great. Who did you admire the most, other than Jerry Lawler, when you were growing up and watching wrestling and everything?
Terry Funk.
Terry Funk, and why is that?
I don't see. I always the Funk family and like my dad and everything were always close. And when I was a kid, I spent a summer out on the ranch with them, with Terry and Junior both. And Terry's always been like one of my role models and heroes. And that's the reason why I'm wearing the black and white boots I have on now. That's for him. And but he's also one of my best friends in wrestling. And I always listened to him. I talked to him at least once a week. And he's always directed me and guided me through a lot of stuff, and he's always been one of my heroes.
Is there any chance of him coming in here to Evansville?
Oh, yeah. I just talked to him 2 days ago, and he stressed to me that it's a favor that he'll do for me, and I appreciate that. And a lot of stuff we're getting done right now is because a lot of relationships I made in wrestling throughout these 11 years now that I've been wrestling. And I'm glad that I haven't stepped on anybody's toes or haven't ever screwed anybody around as far as my friends or any of the other wrestlers. And it's opened a lot of doors for the USWA right now, getting talent that they've never talked to, like Murdoch and Slater and Terry Funk, who hasn't been around here since '83 or so, I think, even for a shot or two. And it's given us a big shot in the arm, and Terry Funk will be through Evansville.
Okay. You have something? Oh, boy. I forgot what I was going
to say. I need to ask you a couple of quick questions, like your date of birth.
August 14th, 1961.
Okay, and were you born in Nashville?
No, Lexington, Tennessee.
Okay. What all goes into your preparations for, like, your matches? Like, do you have to work out a lot?
Be a blow pop. No, I'm not. No. Are you talking about daily or what, like before a match at night?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like an hour before or day, during the day?
An hour before. What do you do?
I've got remember the Bob Backlund wheel? I have a wheel that I at least do a set of 100 I call them wheelies or whatever you want to call them, at least during the night before the matches warm up. I feel like you got to be warmed up, your muscles toned. I need some kind of warmth on your body. I hate going out there cold. That's when you get hurt.
Did you ever have like a childhood ambition other than wrestling?
No.
Something you thought you would do?
Never. I was when I was in kindergarten, I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten, and the lady went around asking everybody what they wanted to do. And everybody else was saying policeman or fireman at the time. And I said wrestler. And she said, "Oh, you give me a wrestler, they'll skin your head." I said, "Well, ma'am, that's what I want to be." So. Yeah, we're divorced, as a matter of fact. We was final at my birthday, August 14th. But right now, I'll be honest with you, there's a chance. She came up and spent last week at home. There might be a chance of... we should never got divorced, to be honest with you. As far as we just need time apart, and there might be a chance of something back together. So I don't know. I'm not thinking about it right now. Worried about getting this place back up.
Why is it that it doesn't seem like money is much of an issue to you? It seems like, is that...
I'll tell you, and I'll answer two things here because I want you to know this too, is that the wrestling part, yeah, you know, it is money-wise, but like this booking part of it, I'm getting nothing for this. I'm doing this strictly because I want to do it. So I'm real eager and I love it. Thrive on it.
Are there any dangers in wrestling? Like fan threats?
Sure it is.
What kind of things have happened to you with fans?
Oh, I've gotten cut. I mean, going through the crowd. I mean, one night, not about 3-4 weeks ago in Memphis, Lawler and myself went up into the Coliseum through the top of it, and a black guy had a knife, and right to the side, just the point of it got me. Security guard grabbed a hold of him. There's been a lot of it. Jimmy Hart, when he was here, had 2 death threats on him before he came into the Coliseum in Memphis one night. He was swinging, and they had him up above the ring somehow, wired up. They've cut tires before on my car. They scratched with keys on the side of it. I've had stuff throwing rocks at it. Fans following me, throwing stuff at the car. You know, there's a lot of different things like that.
Yeah, I noticed a couple weeks ago how you were talking to that woman who was so nice and polite to her. You know, she was...
Yeah. Ask her where she got her pants at, yeah.
I remember Hart's got attacked here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. And all of a sudden, a wrestling fan jumping in the ring out of nowhere has been happened too. So.
How do you like the travel?
Oh, now, I tell you what, when I first started and everything, I loved it, but now it's kind of tiring. It's tiring and boring. I don't really have a personal life, to be honest with you. I'm just being honest, I don't really have a personal life.
Is that your dog?
Yeah, a Scooter. Yeah, he's a scoot man.
Is there anything else that you enjoy you bring with you like that, like your dog?
No.
You travel with your brother a lot, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever have fights with him?
Sure we do. Sure we do. We just had one coming here today. I think he's hit my brakes too hard on the truck when he's stopping. Little things.
I got that. Where do you come up with these angles? I mean, I've been getting nothing but phone calls saying, "Have you got any of those angles on tape? You got any Eddie stuff?" Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know. I've got one that I'm going to do Saturday, and after it's over with, I want to talk to you about that, like next week or something after it's over with. And I don't know. A lot of it's I go to the movies. I love movies. That's probably my number one thing besides wrestling. Is I love watching movies, and that's movies and television and stuff like that. And just sitting around, they'll just hit me. I guess it's kind of like a person that's a songwriter or something. I guess, just out of nowhere, something will hit you sometime. I guess that's it, yeah.
Where'd you come up, I couldn't believe the Lawler, running over Lawler with the car. I don't know where that came from, but that's been
where it came from. It was coming from Louisville to Evansville in the car. I was driving over here the day, and I started thinking about what could be more devastating than me throwing him through the windshield of a car. I mean, with the parking lot brawl we had in '88, where I threw him, and it was crazy. And I just kind of mentioned it, just kind of kidding about it, and we did it. And I just read a thing. This is the first place I want to say this too. I read a thing in Steve Beverly's Mount Watch this past week where a fan wrote a letter. Did you read it? Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, a fan wrote in about how it could have been done with the ambulance, and Lawler should have never done the interview, and that they should have went ahead and took me and held me to the police and all that. And we've already been through that. We thought about that first, but if we had called the ambulance, even with whatever happened, I was about to get arrested anyway, I probably wouldn't be here right now because they wanted to hold me for attempted murder and vehicular homicide. So we couldn't have went any farther with it than what we did. Lawler had to come back and do the interview that day on TV in Memphis when he came back and did the interview afterwards, or I wouldn't be here right now. So I just want to get that clear. When you read the letter, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we couldn't have went any farther with the angle than what we did.
Is he still suffering from the pain?
He sure is. He's got on... See, the leg that it hit was the one that he broke that time. And The doctor told him if it had been his other leg, it would have been broke because the calcium that was around the other leg, the bone, is what saved it from breaking, that leg. And he had a big, gigantic, when I say scab, I don't mean just, it was one of those thick ones that comes out and covers his leg. And his hip and back was black and blue. So, but he still was hobbling around a little bit.
I got to ask you, how's it feel to be, most of my listeners already consider you a legend in wrestling, and you're not even 30 years old yet. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't even think about stuff like that. That's not what, I'm still a wrestling fan. I'm just like everybody else out there. I get off on watching stuff, and when other places do angles and stuff like that, if it's good, I love it. And I love still sitting out here on Wednesday nights. I come out here, and not only because of my job watching the matches, but I love watching the matches. I'm a big wrestling fan. I met Bulldog Brower the first time in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago at Joel Goodhart's show, and older wrestlers like that. When I've never met them and seen them, I still enjoy it, still get excited. So as long as that excitement's there, and all that, I'll always be a wrestling fan. So the stuff of people saying things like that, legend or whatever like that, I think I got about 10 more years to go, or 15 more years or something before I'll even accept anything like that.
What about this offer from Bruce Pritchard and the WWF? Are you taking that into consideration, or are you just going to stick around here?
Well, I've taken that into consideration. I tell you, I knew my answer that night when he called. I was at my brother's. My brother just got married about a month ago, and I was out playing Monopoly with him and his wife, and I told my mom if I had any, emergency calls, have them call there. And Bruce called there that night I was playing. I couldn't believe it. And Bruce and I have been friends for years and years. And when he made the offer, I stood there and I thought, great, this is great. But then I remembered that if I give up this chance now, Memphis may not, if I leave, who knows, in a year or two, Memphis may not be here as far as territory. I don't know that, and nobody else does either, but I don't want to, this is what I always wanted to do first, was book this place, and I didn't want to give it up, and I didn't want to take a chance on not getting to do it. So I'm going to stay here until the job is done, and then if the job offer is still there, or if the NWA wants to talk about that time 2 years down the road, I'll think about it.
Thought about any pay-per-views for this area, or do they have the financial backing right now? But maybe with your help they can get this financial backing.
Well, I'll tell you something, they don't need financial backing. Jerry Jarrett is a very, very wealthy man. If he wanted to dig into his money to back something, he could. But right now I'm going to concentrate on this place, just getting back to the way it was. Not like Ole Anderson said about the 1974, the Georgia getting back that way. What I'm talking about is what draws money, and then when that, after that time, then we'll think about pay-per-views or something.
How do you feel Ole's doing as booker right now?
Ole's doing what Ole knows to do, and I just think that's not too much. I don't think that's it's just old ways, and it's things that's already been done, and I don't think you can do that anymore. You've got to really come up with new stuff. You can't book it like it's 1974, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's also losing a lot of support he had. From what I can tell, and the word I'm getting is that Ric Flair is not a big Ole Anderson backer anymore. They're into it all the time and arguing. So I don't think very highly Ole Anderson's booking right now.
And Flair just lost a match to Scott Steiner on TV. What do you see happening to Flair?
Well, I see Flair. I see stuff happening to Flair that everybody was talking about in that office. As the committee disintegrated, it was that they wanted to make Flair just the living legend or whatever. But now some people that Flair stepped on their toes and stuff like that. He stepped on a lot of toes when he was a booker, when he was the chairman of the booking committee, and those people now will be getting back at Ric Flair. You'll be seeing him probably lose a few more than just that one.
Yeah, he was told to find a new gimmick, so to speak, and come back after he finds one. What do you see happening after that? There's a lot of people writing into the Observer saying, hey, do this, and they're making a big joke out of it. I respect Ric Flair, and he's always been one of my favorite workers and wrestlers, and I don't think they should make a mockery out of his career by making a joke about it.
Neither do I, and if everybody like yourself and myself think about it, Ric Flair shouldn't be done that way. But it goes a lot more personal than that. There's going to be people in that office, though, that don't think of it like me and you do, think of him that way either. They're not going to care about what he's put into wrestling, or if he's a legend or not, or if what he deserves, or he's been world champion for the past 10 years. They're going to try to humiliate him, and they're going to do a good job of it before it's all over.
How do you think Sting and the Ultimate Warrior are going to fare as world champions of their promotions?
They are going to do great, and they have done great, and they will do great as long as they keep their heads on straight. And that's the only thing, especially the Warrior. Sting, I don't know, it's early stages, but as long as they keep the right attitude, and as long as they don't start believing in their own publicity and believing they're really world champions, they'll be fine.
I was told to ask you this by a lot of people, and the reason I was asking you about Jerry Lawler a while ago is because he doesn't believe in the sheets, and he believes we're destroying the business and everything. How do you feel, and what's your personal opinion on the sheets?
On the sheets? Well, I think like Ole Anderson's book, and times change, and a lot of things have changed, and I think a lot of people out there that either write into the sheets, that get them, or everybody's got ideas, and I read them because I want everybody's opinion, because they're the critics, and all the fans that read it are critics, the people that put them out are critics, and I want to see what the critics are saying, and if we're going in the right direction. And because whether people like something or don't like it or dislike it, when they're writing stuff in there, I can at least learn something from it, whether it be good or bad. And I personally don't have any problem with the sheets at all. The only catch that I have sometimes is some of the ratings of matches, because and the reason why I say that, I'm not saying that everybody's opinions are wrong or right or this or that. Whenever I see people giving stars and 2 stars and 3 stars or 4 stars or something like that to a wrestling match, and most of the fans or people don't understand sometimes that because the guy might be going along for 6 straight nights having great matches, and then on that 7th night he's in one that's a dud or something like that, they don't understand it. Maybe he's sick, maybe he's got a personal problem. And instead it's just taken out in the sheet like he had a horrible match. And I think sometimes before all that stuff is written or done up about a guy's match being bad or his work being bad, that they should take in that maybe there was something else going on or something else wrong. But all the other information and that's going on in wrestling, I think is great in it.
A lot of people, like, you can get 2 different people's opinion. You can have a dud and a 5-star match for the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. And do you get offended when somebody say, well, Eddie Gilbert's not a good worker, and they have not been in the ring or anything? I know a lot of wrestlers get offended by this.
No, I tell you what, if it was one of the wrestlers saying that I wasn't a good worker or something, and it's just what you just said about him being in the ring, I don't take that. Everybody has their opinion, and we live in a free country, and I'm very proud of that fact. So, everybody's got their opinions. I don't mind. I know whether I'm good or bad, and so is all the other wrestlers. So, it doesn't matter about that. I don't take it personal.
What would you say the worst part of this business is?
Traveling. Yeah.
If you could go back in your life and change one mistake you made, what would it be?
Probably not, I wouldn't have driven. In 1983, I probably wouldn't have gotten my car in Allentown, Pennsylvania to go to a dinner and then come back and run under the back of an 18-wheeler pickup truck. I probably would have stayed at the room that night. I wouldn't have gone. It cost me a lot of headaches and
wrestling, because the AWA is one of the biggest and oldest organizations. The reason we don't mess around with the Northeast so much basically is because Vince McMahon has overrun that area so poorly with his batch of steroid clowns that it's kind of a waste of our time, because we're into more wrestling. That's why I go down and I challenge Teddy Turner, and I don't waste my time with Vince McMahon Jr. Okay? So no matter what the illusion or no matter what you think, I'm telling you, we are the worldwide organization, bigger than either of them, actually. Ted Turner is actually number 2. One of their upper echelon men Friday called back with one of their legal beagles, these worthless human beings called lawyers, these human leeches, and they called up and they postponed it. They postponed it under some loophole, but trying to go basically to the idea that because I didn't defend the NWA Western States Heritage Championship, that they're trying to postpone. They're using some loopholes. In other words, the bottom line is the NWA is turning into me a bunch of cowards. Ric Flair was a coward and ran for me for a year and a half, and now this kid Sting, if you don't mess around with the Northeast so much, basically, is because Vince McMahon has overrun that area so poorly with his batch of steroid clowns that it's kind of a waste of our time because we're into more wrestling. That's why I go down and I challenge Teddy Turner, and I don't waste my time with Vince McMahon Jr. Okay? So no matter what the illusion or no matter what you think, I'm telling you, we are the worldwide organization bigger than either of them, actually. Ted Turner is actually number 2. One of their upper echelon men Friday called back with one of their legal beagles, these worthless human beings called lawyers, these human leeches, and they called up and they postponed it. They postponed it under some loophole, but trying to go basically to the idea that because I didn't defend the NWA Western States Heritage Championship, that they're trying to postpone. They're using some loopholes. In other words, the bottom line is the NWA is turning into me a bunch of cowards. Ric Flair was a coward and ran for me for a year and a half, and now this kid Sting, if he beat Ric Flair, he's obviously a somebody. Now he's running. So it's like everybody out there, including Teddy Turner, turned into a bunch of women and are all hiding behind someone's dress. If you're going to claim to be the heavyweight champion of the world, then it's time, with the cable networks and the nationwide, worldwide reaches, where everybody sees it, it's time to either put up or shut up. I got, one guy in the WWF that all the boys think is going to drop dead any day now because he takes so many steroids. He should be dead. That's a complete utter clown. So we miscount him, even though he parades around as some type of a world champion. To me, it's like a joke. They're gone. I mean, I'm sorry. I have to apologize to all the wrestling fans that I'm not going to make myself into a steroid clown because at 240 real pounds, I can kick anybody's butt that claims to be a professional wrestler.
Okay, wrestling fans, I was taking off John Anthony's Pro Wrestling Spotlight, I believe August the 2nd. I'm really not for sure, though. But Larry went on to say that you can chant Larry sucks all you want, but he's still going to kick Sting's ass. That's exactly what Larry says. I sort of agree with Larry on a lot of things, but I sort of disagree. Him saying the AWA is probably the largest promotion going, I do not agree with that at all. But I do agree with his, most of his views on steroids. But, this, like I said, when I sent the little sheet out last issue, this merger or so-called joining of two world champions will just not, it'll never take place in my mind. I don't think nothing like this can ever work in the wrestling world again, no matter what organizations you have. But eventually, the house shows are going to drop so much that something like this is going to happen. Like Larry says, you're going to have to, the two promotions are just going to have to clash, whether it be USWA and NWA or Florida and the NWA. Something's just going to happen because we, the wrestling fans, get tired of seeing the same stale talent week after week, day after day, that, we need something else to keep us going. We need to be hungry for wrestling instead of, overnourished, I guess. Is the only way I can think of putting it. But eventually this is going to happen. This is why me and John came up with the Dream Wars idea of imaginary matches on cassette. We thought this worked out pretty good, and hopefully we can do these every so often when John comes in on leave from the Air Force. But, it's eventually going to have to come to this. I'd like to know everyone's opinion out there on this. Do you feel that your local promotion or the NWA or WWF is getting stale? Now, in my opinion, both the NWA and WWF are acquiring so much new talent that they just can't get stale. And I got to take my hat off to the NWA for bringing in a lot of people. Big Man Vader, for one, is a big attraction to me, I believe. And, they've got a lot of talent to put against Sting and to keep him busy for at least the next year. So we'll have to wait and see about that. And let us know your views on that. Feel free. Anybody out there listening to this tape, please send me a tape in. And speaking of sending tapes in, and speak of the devil, I guess you'd say, here's the Jersey Devil with his commentary.
Welcome to the Jersey Devil Show. As I've always said, Mess with the Jersey Devil and they'll be hell to pay. Right, John Seaton? And now that I've eliminated Seaton from Cassette Wrestling News, I can continue my quest to eliminate all the puke-faced geeks that inhabit the wrestling world, such as Boyce, What Kind of Fool Am I, Johansson, Evan, If I Only Had a Life, Ginsburg, and Brian, B.S. Express, Trammell. Not to mention that brainless twit Reverend Dork, and Vince, I'm like a boomerang, I keep coming back, De Palma. But I have an important announcement to make. Just as my good friend George Steinbrenner has elected to leave his less important business interests in others' hands, I have decided to allow Jeff Osborne to continue as host of Cassette Wrestling News. I've also promoted Amber, my trusted assistant, to general manager. She will be responsible for the day-to-day operations of Cassette Wrestling News. Now, by no means will I discontinue the Jersey Devil Show. I wouldn't deprive you geeks of the opportunity to hear the greatest wrestling commentator today, although you certainly don't deserve the honor. But now on to my commentary. I attended the NWA show at the Meadowlands the other night, and from my seats in the MVP luxury boxes, I saw an outstanding card, including the changing of the U.S. Tag Team titles from the Midnight Express to the Steiners in a 3.5-star match. Also, Stan Hansen was a possessed madman as he annihilated Terry Taylor in Terry's return to the NWA. Oh, and by the way, Sid Vicious is one of the most over heels in the NWA. The WCW people have got a diamond in the rough, and they would do well to hang on to this awesome individual. Have I mentioned lately how much I despise Tom Dorkman Zink? The Sting-Flair matchup was a solid one, with Sting pinning Flair and the Horsemen attacking Sting after the match until the Stooges without a clue made the save. But I think the highlight of the card was seeing radio personality John Anthony's Geekmobile pass my limousine on the way to the arena. I've never seen so many toothless Long Island cretins in my life. And speaking of John Anthony, his wrestling talk show has moved to WBAB at 12:40 a.m. on Sundays from 10 a.m. until noon. Now, if you losers could just learn to read the numbers on your radio dial, you might actually get to hear some great wrestling radio talk. Oh, and Mr. John Anthony Arezzi, next time, or whatever your name is for that matter, next time you invite Osborne on your show, you better clear it through me first. Better yet, why not go right to the source and have the devil on your show? After all, would a good sports announcer rather interview George Steinbrenner or the Yankees ground crew manager? Get my drift, pal? It's great to see Rowdy Roddy Piper back in the wrestling spotlight. But hey, Piper, come back to the dark side. I'd rather see you smashing coconuts in Snooker's face or smashing a toilet bowl over Fatty Rhodes' head than sucking up to that pompous twit McMahon. Finally, I'd like to say hello to my dear friend and avid Jersey Devil Show fan, Mr. Donald Trump. But hey, Don, do me a favor. Stop begging for Missy Hyatt's phone number. You're just not in her league, pal. Often imitated, never duplicated. This is the Jersey Devil from deep in the swamps of Jersey.
Are you enjoying the episode? Well, Cash App us. That's right, $BTSTS. You don't have Cash App? Download it and get $5. That's right, $5. That's $BTSTS, $BTSTS. Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/ Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. Use our Uber Eats code EATS-BRIAN-T24790UE. That's EATS-BRIAN-T24790UE. Use that code and get $20 off a $25 order. Hey, I just want to take a moment to tell you about Athletic Brewing Company. This might sound strange to some people, but ABC makes non-alcoholic brews. That's right. I like to taste the beer with my food, but not the alcohol. If you go to tiny.1/STSPod2022, that's tiny.1/STSPod2022, and try a 6-pack, use that link. If you buy a 6-pack, you get one for free. Athletic Brewing Company.
Shootin' the Shiznit is exclusively sponsored this month by spunklube.com. Spunk Lube is an award-winning personal lubricant that's fun. Spunk Lube is available in 4 varieties: hybrid, pure silicone, natural, and pink. The newest addition to the Spunk Lube family is Spunk Lube Pink. The pink formula is colorful and fun to use. It's a special hybrid formula that's non-sticky and non-staining. All of their products are shipped in discreet packaging from D Enterprises. Please go to spunklube.com and order a unique, fun-to-use personal lubricant.
American Hostile Championship Wrestling is on tour. It is a hostile takeover on May 7th, Luxor, Arkansas, at the Charles Strong Center. For ticket information, call 636-232-3313. Tickets are $12 at the door and $10 in advance. American Hostile Championship Wrestling on tour will include Rude, Chris Hayes, Trent Daniels, Jason Vaughn, the Young Goats, Denzel Rollins, The Posse, Derek the King, Mark Southern Jr., Big Jag Parker, Justin Case, Austin the Reaper Bolo, the LA Hustlers, Cookie St. James, Brett Michaels the Gun Show, Van Vicious, and many, many more. Memphis Wrestling and American Hostile Championship Wrestling superstars. Be there! Follow American Hostile Championship Wrestling on Facebook by searching American Hostile Championship Wrestling. Cards are subject to change.
What is Cassette Wrestling News' Jeff Osborne doing now? Please visit Secret Headquarters in Evansville, Indiana, 4225 North First Ave, Evansville, Indiana, or call Jeff at 812-470-8546. From vintage toys, video games, and comics to a full retro 80s video arcade. They also have the Vinyl Destination, new and used vinyl records. Drop on in and get something to spin. Follow them on Facebook at The Secret Headquarters.
This is the illustrious Johnny Stewart, and you're listening to Cassette Wrestling News.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Stewart. I'll be getting that videotape in the mail to you in about a week or two. Anyway, I don't know if I should thank the Jersey Devil or not. He's still putting down everybody in sight. We need some fans to combat this Jersey Devil, so if any of you out there would send in a tape to sort of get to beat the devil at his own game here, go ahead and do it. Or anyone else of the regular participants on Cassette Wrestling News. Now, I'm developing a contest that's going to sort of wreak a lot of havoc out there and get a lot of people to send in their tapes in. I'm not going to reveal what type of contest it is yet. I have to get in touch with various wrestling celebrities to do this contest, and I'm sure everyone out there will send in a tape. Hopefully everyone out there will send in a tape to participate in this contest. I'd love to see it. Anyway, let's move on to some more wrestling. I've been getting more and more reports on how good Ivan Koloff is looking. You know, I never expected to see this. Ivan's getting up there in age, and but I've been getting several reports from people across the southeastern block that down there in the United States and the NWA that Ivan Koloff does look good, as well as Harley Race. He's really trying hard to get over, but you know, the fans nowadays just don't appreciate a wrestler of Harley Race's caliber. They want to see the face paint. They want to see muscles. They want to see everything else. Our hats are off to these guys who are really giving it their all and pouring their heart into it. We appreciate guys like Ivan Koloff and Harley Race. I also wanted to add that there is a possible USWA World Title Tournament coming up. I haven't had the details on this. And I did talk to Cactus Jack, though, the other night. And he said that he had read in the sheets that he may be working some dates in Memphis, but Jerry Jarrett wants him to be down in Dallas, Texas for a while. And possibly work a few dates there. But personally, I don't see how the USWA Dallas end of the show is going to hold up without the television exposure. You know, this is the probably the #1 wrestling show in Texas. And attendance is quadrupled there in the past month. I don't know what it is, whether it's Eddie Gilbert or just whatever. They competed pretty well against the World Wrestling Federation, and I think the ratio there was about 1,500 or 1,600 people in Dallas for the USWA show, and people there, I believe, close to 3,000 people for the WWF show with Kerry Von Erich and the Ultimate Warrior on top. So I think they played a fair game there, and USWA is definitely something to watch now with Eddie Gilbert back in the area, like I've said time and time again. But personally, like I said, I don't see how the USWA Dallas end is going to hold up without television exposure. They were warned time and time again about the various female angles where Billy Travis stripped Tony Adams down to her bare butt and was spanking her on national television. And this made local headlines, I believe. And they were warned about this, and they were warned about things John Tatum was doing to Tessa, like beating her and kicking her in the head and in the face and stuff. And now this deal with Jeannie and Tony and Chris Adams and Steve Austin, I don't know. They're really getting harped on pretty hard about this. And anyway, we'll never see them on KTVT anymore, the 2-hour show. And I got to say, I mean, John and I used to watch this several years ago, and we couldn't wait till the next week to see the Von Erichs taking on the dynamic duo of Chris Adams and Gino Hernandez. That was a heck of a feud. And by the way, if anybody out there is looking for copies of that feud, I have various videotapes, and one has the hair versus hair match with the Von Erichs and the dynamic duo. So if anybody's looking for that, let me know. All right now, I'm going to ask you to turn the tape over to the other side so we can get on with some more wrestling action. There's still over 45 minutes to go. Can you believe this, wrestling fans? We gave you an extra half hour, or actually we sort of ripped you off of one, but you still get 60 minutes plus a bonus of John crying and everything, and I don't know. But just go ahead and turn the tape over to the other side. All right, folks, about 20 people will be getting this story right here. I've mailed out quite a few tapes, and this is a late-breaking story, and I thought it needed to be said. Chris Champion was arrested Wednesday night for allegedly molesting an 11-year-old. Details next tape. Remember, there's only about 20 people getting this, so consider yourself, hell, I don't know, lucky, I guess. Just thought I'd pass that on. Me and Chris Champion don't get along at all. Yeah, well, I'll have full details on the next tape. Go ahead and turn the tape over.
As far as what? Just give me an example.
Like what were some of the kind of things you did, with your family when you were growing up? And did your dad have any influence on the wrestling?
Yeah, well, my dad didn't want me to be in the wrestling business. He wanted me to be anything else but in wrestling. He, needless to say, he wasn't around a lot to, participate in a lot of things with me. But he's always there encouraging me in sports and everything, baseball, football, so forth. Never was tall enough for basketball. Didn't really care much about it either. And but he always, when he had time, he spent with me and practicing and stuff like that. My brother Doug had more time with my dad. My dad was home more when my brother was growing up. But I think it kind of made me a tougher person or something, doing all the stuff on my own.
What do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
Hopefully sitting back and watching a few pay-per-view shows that I put together, and I don't know, I guess everybody's kind of dream would be just to own part of a wrestling company or something like that.
How does it feel to be hated by thousands of people?
Well, I figure the way I look at it is if the more people hate me, the better I am doing my job, and so I really enjoy it because I think it's the best part of me. I always felt that way when I was growing up, and a lot of people, even when I started in wrestling, I said I'd like to be a bad guy. And a lot of my friends would say, how can you be a bad guy? You're such a baby face, and this, that, and the other. I mean, just baby face like a baby face was. And I said, well, nobody's giving me a chance yet, so I like it a lot.
How do you keep your cool around fans that know what you mean? You're very calm and very relaxed, and how do you enjoy yourself?
Well, like 5 years ago when I first started this, as far as being a bad guy or heel or anything like that, I wasn't as controlled as I am now. I look at it a little different now. I'm just looking at it, like I just said, like I'm doing my job good if they're mad at me, and I just laugh at them now and say thank you. And when they say I hate you, so I kind of enjoy it.
How many places did you say you've been in the last year?
Oh, last year? Oh, well, just all over the United States with the NWA. I mean, that was just from seaboard to seaboard, north and south, every which way. Too much. I wouldn't know on amount, but just too much. Last night I lost a lot, so.
They still, is that Lexington?
Louisville.
What would you tell someone that would say that they didn't consider you an athlete because you're professional wrestling? A lot of people don't understand.
Well, I would just ask that person or people or whatever to try it. And then, there's even been like football players and other athletes. I'm just saying, using football players for example, that always thought it'd be easy for them to be a wrestler or something, and then like they don't understand like your nerves play a big part of it when you get in the ring, as far as the energy you have and how much longer your win lasts. And so like I've seen like football players that's like for one match or something, for a special match, that after 2 minutes they're just shot to hell. They can't even move a muscle. So I'd always ask that person or something to try it and just let me know.
Did you hear that Johnny Stewart interview I did? I'm not messed up.
Yeah, I heard about it, but what
He said football's easier. The knots are just.
it's just in the ring is strange. Nerves.
Last question. Have you ever thought about having like a college night here where you give a discount for college IDs? Because I was gonna, if this goes in the paper, I was gonna add at the bottom,
You're open for any ideas. Any ideas, yeah. Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of people that go to my college and a lot of people that have never really, really heard about wrestling. And, if they could get like a discount because it's kind of hard for college students to pay $5 a week.
Sure.
I could add something, at the bottom. If you could, like, this probably won't go in until like next month or something. If you could tell me like a certain
I know
night.
somebody next week. An answer. Go for it.
Right, and then I could put like a specific date in there.
I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah, we're open right now, honestly.
That was one. Gets in the college and shows that.
Because once one person does it,
I don't know what episode that was. This I don't really know. It's just, I wish we were downtown. This location, this is where this is where it's at. I don't know. I have no idea about the city. Where the building's at. Is it easy to get to? Is it the parking okay? Or is it people scared to come down here? Or just, I don't know. Okay, that's all I'm wondering. I just wondered that.
It's easy to get to.
Okay. Just right off the do.
About 10 minutes away.
Honestly, a lot of people are scared to come here because they think, the people that go to wrestling, they've heard stories like the thing in the paper about Christine Young and stuff, and then people are scared to come down here. Like my friends, they're like, you go down there, and then some of my friends, they watch, then they see it on TV, and they're like, then they want to go. But, if people would hear more positive things about it, if you could get in contact with somebody at the paper here and have them do something positive on it, then it probably bring in a lot more people.
I was reading some part of your interview, and I'm going to start mine here. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Back here with Eddie Gilbert again here in Evansville, and Eddie, I was reading part of your interview in the Torch last week. It said that, the people who read the kayfabe sheets are the people that's always going to be paying to get in and see wrestling. Do you feel that if there were more smart fans, that there'd be more people coming in?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I just that's a delicate question, a hard question. The people that I don't know, like yourself and other people with the sheets and the people that read it, I know those people are diehard wrestling fans, and I know they'll come. I don't know if this time right now where we're at, if everyone that read them, let's say, if all of a sudden there was a big more, like 3 times more of the people read them right now, if those people would be as diehard as the group that we know right now. I don't know if that would help us or hinder us right now, to be honest with you.
Okay. Most of the fans in Japan, they're mostly smart fans, and Tokyo Egg Dome sells out week after week, month after month, and that's something I didn't understand. And when the WWF came to town, attendance dropped by about 15%. How do you feel?
I'm going to touch on that because, there's a lot of things that a lot of the sheets don't understand, and I think a lot of people over here in the States don't understand. I know they talk about a lot of the people in Japan being smart and so forth. I don't think a lot of people here understand that comparing WWF coming to a town and then the Japan deal and so forth is that when our guys, say like a Steve Williams or so forth or Terry Gordy goes to Japan now, they go over there and they either you got to defend yourself in the ring, either you're going to get killed or you better kill somebody. It's definitely different than over here. It's different from what the NWA does. It's different from what the WWF does. You come out of there banged up, bruised up, and hurt because it's almost a shoot in the ring. You either got to take care of yourself or you're going to get hurt. And see, even though the people are smart, when you say they're smart, yeah, okay, but they're sitting there watching and knowing there's contact going on. They know the guy can get hurt, and they're into that. So it doesn't matter to them. They're happy about that. Then here comes the WWF to town. They go, So that's a different there. It is competition. Japanese thing. Either you're going to go over there and clothesline somebody, or one of those boys are going to clothesline you and put you out. So you got to defend yourself.
Probably the greatest match I've ever seen from Japan. I haven't seen too many of them. It was Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask. And those guys, it looked like they were trying to kill each other. And I couldn't believe the contact there. And it was unbelievable. And the Japan, they're not too much up on the size and like the Ultimate Warrior and everything. You feel that you've been discriminated against because you're not one of these big muscle guys like, say, Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah, I do, but that's just the cards that were dealt me, I guess, when I was born. That's nothing. I mean, I can't cry over spilled milk and sour grapes and this, that, and the other about it. Just I got to try to use what I can to try to get me further on in the wrestling business, and so I'm not worried about that. Guys that are blessed with size, great for them. I'm not going to knock them either. I mean, Vince McMahon took monsters and has made a lot of money out of them. I've seen the Tennessee territory also make money off small guys. Don Owens made money off small guys. Eddie Graham made money off small guys. And I say small guys, I just mean guys that are not 6'6" or 350 pounds. So you're talking about a category that's a lot of people under that. So no, I don't feel bad about that. No.
He brought up Vince McMahon, and a couple of weeks ago, all kinds of turmoil hit the WWF. He seems to be taking a role in his new World Bodybuilding Federation, and he's let go a lot of guys. Rick Rude's quit, Rhythm and Blues, and a lot of people are scheduled to go. Do you think you're going to pick up on any of that talent?
Yeah, that's the first thing I was thinking about whenever I heard all the news and read it. People called me and tell me what was going on, and I think it's going to help. I just think Vince is he's putting a lot of his attention towards his bodybuilding thing, but also, I mean, things only last for so long. I mean, he's had a great ride for a few years now, since '84, and now it's getting a little bumpy for him, but don't ever count Vince out. He knows what he's doing, and once the time that we all think and laugh at him or something, he'll come right back at us, so just beware.
I think he's stepped on a lot of people's toes, as you were pointing out, saying that you've never done that, and I think it's really gonna hit him in the face.
Well, you gotta remember this with Vince, is that a lot of guys in this dressing room tonight can knock Vince McMahon, and guys in NWA tonight can knock Vince McMahon or whatever, but if Vince McMahon calls them tomorrow, they're going to jump on the plane and go up there, and that's what you got to remember. He's the #1 promoter in the States, and that whatever we say about him, and he has stepped on a lot of toes, but there's also this business, so much competition with each other, and guys making money and want the breaks, that it doesn't really matter anymore. There's so much talent out there, it's not really going to hurt him.
Do you feel that he's ruined, say, opportunities for you and opportunities for virtually every wrestler in the United States to move around and to keep the talent fresh? When he rated all these regional promotions and everything, do you feel that he sort of ruined the wrestling industry for good?
I don't think so. I think that Vince, I think somebody was going to do it. Vince or somebody. When I remember in 1980, I had gone to Atlanta for like 2 months and wrestled there, and I came back here, and this place right here after Evansville one night, I rode back to Nashville with Ken Lucas, and Ken Lucas then told me that he said someday, Eddie, some promoter, they didn't know who the promoter would be then, you would probably pick Jim Barnett being the guy then because he had TBS in Atlanta. Somebody will someday promote the whole country, and we'll all be flying from city to city, and there'll only be a certain group of wrestlers that'll be used. They were already in the business. They had already summed that up then. It didn't happen until 4 years later, and then it became Vince McMahon the guy to do it. It was going to be somebody. It could have been Jerry Jarrett. It could have been Vince McMahon, Eddie Graham, Jim Barnett, somebody. So I don't point fingers at Vince saying, okay, he's the one that's cost me, because I could be sitting here saying the same thing about Jerry Jarrett or Jim Barnett. It would have been somebody. See, all of the promoters, after one thing, somebody wanted it to run the whole country. And now we have 2 of them at least, NWA and the WWF, so thank goodness we just got a second one there.
Could be 3. How about Herb Abrams, UWF? A lot of people were knocking this guy. He said Brody was just injured and he was not dead, and that Blackjack Mulligan was going to be a booker and everything. But he surprised a lot of people and opened up a lot of people's eyes.
Well, let's just see what. I still want to sit back and watch and see what happens, and I hope there is a number 3. I hope there's a number 4. I hope there's a room for a lot of stuff, and I just want to sit back and watch this guy. I saw the talent that he had in for his TV taping, and I just want to see who all hangs with him and who he has running the shows, and who's the guys behind everything before I really cast any interest either way on it.
Have you had any offers from him or anything about maybe booking or working?
I have not spoken to him.
Yeah, there was rumors in the sheets that say you and Funk and Chris Cruz and all were talking with him.
I don't even know the guy, to be honest with you.
Okay, it was estimated that he lost over $100,000 just at his first TV taping, and something was screwed up, and he stuck to his word and paid all the guys and bought them dinner and everything, and I think he's really showing some loyalty towards his workers, and that's my personal opinion on him. I want to ask you something here. What do you think can be done, say, to fill up this Evansville Coliseum once again? I wouldn't mind. I remember back when I was in grade school, standing outside in the rain in a line about a mile long waiting to get in here. I'd like to see that again.
Well, nothing ever takes place overnight, and that's my thing right now with anybody to ask me anything about this place. There's a lot of things going on right now. It's just like building a house. You got to lay the foundation first, and the rest follows. And I think in the weeks to come, and it's like I said a couple of weeks ago to you, is that there's a lot more stuff to come, but it just takes time, and it takes time in building something. And that's what happened in Alabama when I went there. It didn't happen overnight. It took established names and things happening. That's what happens whenever you see building filling back up again, is everybody see that little step at a time take place, get the interest back. Everybody's watching the TV again.
I've never really, this is the only place I've ever seen wrestling at. I've seen Angelo Poffal's old ICW. I've never really attended anything in person, and I'd like to walk out of here deaf one night from the crowd noise. It was about the first night you came back. I couldn't believe it, and I like to see it that way again. About what's the biggest crowd you've ever wrestled in front of?
Sitting there right now, right offhand, I don't know. I should know. I don't know. I don't know if are you talking about, we're just talking about one Coliseum-like thing, right? I don't know. I don't really know. It's a strange question. You're sitting right here, and there's so many places, and right now, just ones that sticks out in my mind or anything.
Do you think that within a year we can see a pay-per-view out of the USWA? I mean, this is the talk.
Within a year, yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
Okay, you've been the talk of the sheets within ever since you came back, and Wade Killer said. Videotape demands are quadrupled. Is there any plans for a Best of Eddie tape coming out?
Yeah, give me an idea. I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good idea. I'm real proud of our TVs right now. We just stuck in the top 10, and I'm real happy about that, the way it's going. And I don't know who else got to see that yet, but I'm real proud of the way it's coming off on TV, and just everything with the TV show right now. It's like changed 100%, and I'm really happy with it. I don't know. I like the deal about the Best of Eddie tape. I like to see one of those myself right now, because I ain't got to see all the stuff we've done, so I like to see it.
I was going through some old tapes, and there was a Piper's Pit on you, and Roddy was insulting. I couldn't believe the difference. This guy that's mowed down people with a car and just done all these kinds of bad things, and here's this guy sitting out there, looked like about 20 years old, and Roddy Piper was giving you hell. Can you remember those days?
Well, I sure do. It's everybody just I was like the naive kid in wrestling, and that's when I sat back though in the dressing rooms, and I sat back at all the TV tapings, and I would sit back and watch everything and learn. And Roddy Piper is the greatest to me that's ever been or ever will be. He still is. I think he's lost a little luster right now just because they want to be everybody's favorite. But I like him better as a heel, and I've learned a lot. I learned a lot from him on some of the stuff I do. I like Piper a lot. Yeah, I remember those days a lot too. can't forget them.
There seems to be a thing that the oversaturation of wrestling on TV, and people are saying, well, they need to take off so many programs to get it back up to what it used to be. But then the other people are saying, well, they need the TV ratings, they need the revenue and everything. Which is better, the house gates or the revenue? I never could figure this one out.
Well, that's just according to who you are. If as far as what part of the wrestling company, like for Turner's people, the ratings and revenue. For Vince, you'd say the gates at the houses. See, and there's just different people want different things, and it's just according to where you sit and what part of the promotion you have, or what your wrestling promotion is built on. If it's TV or if it's the house gates.
I saw some of the footage from the tournament and compared. I don't know how they were taping a couple of months ago, the Memphis shows, but I couldn't believe the production level. It was unbelievable. There were all sorts of different camera angles and lighting.
Big crew for that. There was I'm not sure where they came from. I don't know if that's like the ESPN crew or if that was the Texas crew, but I know they brought in a whole different TV crew for that, and they really went to a lot of trouble. They had the lighting fixtures and all that stuff was fixed up, and it was really a professional run thing. It was real easy for me.
What's going on down in Dallas? We learned that Jerry Jarrett backed out and Kevin Von Erich's taken over the area. What's going on down there?
It's just a waiting game right now. That's all it is. Just wait and see.
He doesn't have that many, or Von Erich doesn't have that many wrestlers to work with down there, and it seems Jerry wasn't holding any grudges when, say, Gary Young came in for the tournament and everything.
No, it's not. He's not going to hold Gary Young and John Tatum and those guys, because those are good guys and they're good talent. You don't just tell those guys, well, because that's where they live. And Jerry pulled out during the situation, and you don't say, well, don't work for him and starve to death. At least keep you a job and in some way keep your living going until I return. And so there's no grudge at all held against anybody. Akbar, Tatum, Young, anybody.
I've got a suggestion here. Why not advertise on TV? Say there could be a TV taping in Evansville. Do you think this would increase attendance?
Oh, it possibly could. I don't know. See, it's little kinks like that. You got to remember, coming back in here, and this is stuff I've learned, and real quick too. That 3 years ago, I'd have probably come back in here going, oh, let's do this, let's do that. This is what I learned, and this is what we did in UWF. This is what we did in the NWA. But this is really overall been a regional promotion, and they are willing to do that stuff. And I just got to take time, and they have, and they got to adjust to me, and I got to adjust to them, and that can happen, and that would increase. That's just one of those things we got to take one step at a time about.
Do you think we're getting that edge back of the classic Memphis of yesteryear back?
Yeah, we just started. Yes, and I'm not going to let anybody forget any of the old names either. I've got little things that Doug, my brother Doug, and Tony Anthony this past Saturday will be on this week. They brought out 8 tag teams that they said were their top contenders, and they went over a list that had Don and Al Green and a bunch of people that that we remember from days gone by. And classic that way, and classic in a lot of different ways. I think a lot of the old Jerry Lawler stuff will be. I think a lot of people will see a lot of that in different ways, and you'll get that old feeling again, I think.
Okay. You were talking about a lot of the people writing into the sheets being critics and everything. Well, I want to give you a chance to criticize the critics, and I asked you last week. We're putting on a USWA poetry contest, and I want to ask you now if you want to be the judge to see who's the winner of that, and you can rate them from a dud up to 5 stars.
Okay, but just remember, when you do something in, tell me how you felt when you wrote it. If you were in a good mood, bad mood, if you're on drugs, off drugs, or whatever, if you had enough sleep, if you were drunk or whatever, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, have you talked to...
What if I give all of them 5 stars? What happens then?
I don't know. We're going to...
Prizes for everybody?
Yeah, we're going to try to work out some prizes for everybody. Okay. Have you talked to Cactus Jack or anybody about coming in?
No, I want to tell you something. Right now, the past 2 weeks, I haven't really got to talk to anybody. Just Terry Funk twice, Dick Murdoch once. It was like just because of the situation. I'm like I was talking about, I'm getting moved, and after the next 2 days, I will be at a permanent address, permanent phone number, and I'll feel a lot better about things. And right now, I'm just kind of edgy, and I'm having to get stuff done quick, and I just haven't been settled in one place. I've been living at home in Lexington with my mom and dad, and in my old room, and I've had like 3 bags full of clothes sitting in there, and I had all my stuff in Atlanta and so forth, and living on the road here. But now finally I'm getting settled down, and now is when I'll start spreading everything out, looking at it, and seeing about the new talent.
Okay, you have any final words for any of the Cassette Wrestling News listeners?
I just hope that in the days to come, and the weeks to come, the months to come, and hopefully years to come, that I can live up to what everybody's put on my shoulders right now, and especially this is probably going to be the biggest challenge I've ever had, and keeping my fingers crossed, and everybody's good wishes, I think we'll pull it off, and I just want to thank everybody for their support, and just hope it stays that way, and I hope at any time in the future that I don't do or say anything to cross anybody, but just remember, everybody says their mood swings, and I'm like, I'm no different than anybody else, but I just really appreciate everybody's support, and I thank them.
We really respect you, and you've earned a lot of people's respect, and we really appreciate what you're doing.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Would you want to say something to the soldiers and Saudi? Hey, Chris Cruz has been sitting
Yeah. Okay. So,
yeah, you can say
okay. Guys, this is Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, and I just want to tell everybody thanks for sticking up for us, and it's great to know that we're over here, and y'all over there are going to kick ass and take names, and I don't care what they say. If you see Sodom walking around, blow him up. Take care. Best wishes. Good luck.
I've got a few more questions.
Okay.
How do you become so obnoxious? Like when you're in the ring and you're singing, I'm the champion last week and it's just new What do you like your personality?
Yeah. I'm so quiet usually all day, and then by the time night comes, I'm ready to just go crazy.
And how do you feel when you look down and you see fans actually cheering for you out of the ring like that? Does it surprise you at all?
No, there's just gonna be those people that I was one of them. I liked when I was growing up liking Lawler and liking Roddy Piper and people like that. And Terry Funk. The more obnoxious they were, and the more sarcastic and the more egotistical, the more I liked them, because somehow or another they always got the job done, and they backed up what they said some way or another. And so it doesn't surprise me. No.
How do you feel about steroids?
I don't really have any comment on it. I don't know. I don't. It's nothing really against them or anything for them. I just don't. It's. I guess to each his own is really what I'm saying. Everybody has their own opinion on what they're doing or not.
And that's been so.
Yeah, there's been so much.
Well, just everyday people don't like
It's not good for your body, but it's not.
And what kind of positive things would you tell people that really don't know that much about wrestling, like in Evansville, to get them interested in it?
I think it's an outlet for them sometimes to express themselves and get a lot off their chest by coming out to the matches and watching it. That when they don't get a chance to do that, you go to a movie, you don't ever get to stand up and yell at the screen or anything like that. And most people really don't get into ball games that much like that unless you're really kicking somebody's ass. But the matches, everybody seems to have a good time and let off their steam, and I think it's a part of it that they could look at.
How's Anthony feel? I don't know. I don't know.
Get together. Thank you.
Along the grapevine, Chris, where are you? She needs to get a quote for her story from you.
Okay. Tell me something about Eddie as a wrestler and as your brother.
Here to take
what
it.
you think about him.
Okay, give me just a second to think about that.
Why do you guys bring your dog with you?
He's like Eddie's little boy here. Okay, so Eddie is a wrestler.
And how it is being in the, in wrestling with your brother.
Okay, where's the...
I think it's going. There's the mic right there.
Can we cut off just a second? Just, now, what I think about Eddie is... Okay. I'll be right back. Just get out of the cold.
Next time, I believe Amber will be starting her full-time co-hostess spot on Cassette Wrestling News, so that should be very interesting as well. Now, I'm still pretty puzzled about this snowman situation going on here in the USWA. He was calling himself the Invisible Man.
Okay, this is Doug Gilbert, and on my brother being a wrestler, I think my brother's one of the best wrestlers in the wrestling industry. He is very well trained. He works out very many hours a day. He is one of the top wrestlers in the world, I think. As far as being my brother, we have a lot of good times on the road, a whole lot of good times. He gets grumpy at times, but that's normal, I guess, so many hours traveling a day. But like I said, as far as his wrestling, I think he's one of the best workers in the wrestling industry, and I think he's second to none. But like I said, we do have arguments every once in a while, but that's like anything else. He fusses about my driving, and we fuss about his women and this and that, but that's about it.
And Cactus Jack is booked for some Texas dates, as I understand it, as John has told me, even though John is not too hot of a source. But I've heard this from a couple of people, that Cactus Jack will be starting in Dallas, and hopefully I can get an interview with Cactus Jack before he heads down there. Anyway, we'll have to see what develops out of that situation. Owen Hart was scheduled to start in the NWA this month, but I believe that will be delayed until, I believe, December of this year. So, Owen Hart will definitely be a welcome face in the NWA. Now, one man that I would love to see, and the man that I feel that can just get everything done, would be none other than the Hitman Bret Hart. They recently won the titles from Demolition at SummerSlam, but the NWA, as we've said before, did have a chance to get Bret Hart in their organization, and in my opinion, this was the biggest mistake ever by not signing this man to a contract in the NWA. He's a great offensive wrestler, great defensive wrestler. He takes great bumps. He's a phenomenal athlete. And when the NWA didn't sign this man, they made a grave mistake. And getting rid of the great Muta, I don't want to go on about my complaining about the NWA. They are one of my favorite organizations, and they're trying to develop some new talent. But when they keep making these just ignorant mistakes, it just really gets to me, and I got to tell somebody. But I'm telling you, the AWA is going to be still around for quite a few months now, and they may be something to watch. I'm pretty impressed with Dale Wilkes, the Trooper, and they're really something to watch. I'm interested in Bloom and Enos, just where they're going right now, and where they're going to turn up at. If I was the NWA, I'd definitely be trying to sign Bloom and Enos, because they are one heck of a tag team, and I hope that everyone out there has seen Bloom and Enos. Another tag team to watch, they're none other than the USWA World Tag Team Champions, Brian Lee and Don Harris. These men are half-brothers. Don Harris, formerly of the Bruise Brothers, Don Bruise and Ron Bruise. Ron Harris, I believe, is the other brother. They're a set of twins, Ron and Don, and I believe their half-brother, Brian Lee. These men are great athletes, and Brian Lee was a former CWA champion, and I don't know. I'm really impressed with these guys. They remind me of smaller skyscrapers, as John calls them, buildings. And I'm very impressed with these guys. And I don't know. I'm getting a lot of reports on the USWA, how it's gone from a 2 on the Richter scale up to an 8. And it just keeps getting better with Eddie Gilbert every week, coming up with all different kinds of angles and action. And I get people calling me, asking me, say, I've got to have this Eddie Gilbert stuff. I got to have this USWA tapes. I can only record so much. And, well, anyway, if you fans got anything to trade, I do have access to 3 VCRs now. And, I don't know, I'd like to get some more Jushin Riger matches. So if you have any of those, and also the famous shoot kick match, if anyone out there has those, in trade for some of my USWA tapes. And maybe we can work out a trade, so get in touch with me, either at the phone number or at the Boonville address. Want to give a quick plug here to Brian Chili BT Big Daddy Express Trammell for his Wrestling Riot newsletter. And his debut issue featured none other than Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert on the cover. And inside, let's see, it has... You can get in touch with Brian at 1806 South Circle, apartment number B, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72401. It's Wrestling's Bulletin for mature readers only. 4 issues for $3. He has a lot of columnists in here, including an Ultimate Reuter t-shirt for sale, which I'd like to get one of those. Anyway, I want to get in touch with Brian about that t-shirt. And let's see, he has a column, Speaking My Mind, and he has some masks, some Lucha Libre masks for sale, and a story called The Day That Kayfabe Died, or The Day Kayfabe Died, and gives little highlights of his match here and everything. And, it's got a lot of interesting things in here. And ringside rap with Big Daddy Brian and the Kid, and Brian had a good quote in here. I believe him or one of his readers attended a match involving the Midnight Express. Combination of Buddy Landell and Bobby Eaton as they took on the Steiners, and there's a lot of funny things happening in here. You just got to read this bulletin. Anyway, something happened, and one of the lights above the ring exploded, showering glass on all the wrestlers. And Jim Cornette said he's going to have to quit coming to the arenas because the Steiners are bringing explosives to the matches. So, I don't know, it's really worth reading. And like I said, I gave the address. You can get in touch with Brian, and it's only 4 issues for $3, and it's published monthly. So check it out. And I believe he's still giving a free sample out there, one-time free sample. So check it out. All right, wrestling fans, even though there's a little bit of tape left, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And it's been a very strange tape with John leaving and everything, and missing SummerSlam, and a very hectic time moving. So please bear with me. I know there's probably about 8 minutes left. Maybe I'll ramble on all that time and make everyone mad out there. Anyway, hey, you listening to this tape, please send in your audio tape, 3 minutes or less, to be heard on Cassette Wrestling News by fans around the globe. That includes Australia and Canada and everywhere else. So please send in your tapes to Post Office Box 765, Boonville, Indiana, 47601. For John Seaton, the Jersey Devil, Vince De Palma, Amber, Huey Rockwell IV, and the Jersey Devil, I think I said that, I don't know. And for everyone else who participates in Cassette Wrestling News, this is Jeff Osborne saying keep your shoulders off the mat and keep reaching for the ropes.
Memphis Wrestling is live. Get ready for all the fun at Dave & Buster's in Memphis. May 8th is our free WWE WrestleMania Backlash watch party. Then, Sunday, May 15th, bring the family to Dave & Buster's for live Memphis Wrestling. Again, that's live Memphis Wrestling, absolutely free inside Dave & Buster's. May 29th is huge. Not only is it our next live TV taping featuring MLW star Mads Kruger, but when Memphis Wrestling is finished, head over to Dave & Buster's to watch AEW Double or Nothing absolutely free. And on June 18th, Memphis Wrestling returns to Black Rock, Arkansas to benefit the Black Rock Entertainment Committee. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com.
American Hostile Championship Wrestling is on tour. It is a hostile takeover on May 7th, Luxor, Arkansas, at the Charles Strong Center. For ticket information, call 636-232-3313. Tickets are $12 at the door and $10 in advance. American Hostile Championship Wrestling on tour will include Rude, Chris Hayes, Trent Daniels, Jason Vaughn, The Young Goats, Denzel Rollins, The Posse, Derek the King, Mark Southern Jr., Big Jag Parker, Justin Case, Austin the Reaper Bolo, the LA Hustlers, Cookie St. James, Brett Michaels the Gun Show, Van Vicious, and many, many more. Memphis Wrestling and American Hostile Championship Wrestling superstars. Be there! Follow American Hostile Championship Wrestling on Facebook by searching American Hostile Championship Wrestling. Cards are subject to change. This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLoop.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.spunkloop.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. You want the best, you got the best. The best little wrestling podcast in the business. All episodes on www.stspod.club. Did you enjoy that episode? Cash App us at $BTSTS. If you've never downloaded the Cash App, download it today. You'll get a free, that's right, a free $5 for using the code $BTSTS. That's $BTSTS. Hey, that was another great episode of Shooting the Shiznit. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all our sponsors. A big shout out to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets. Remember, you can reach us on Twitter at ComicBookMarkBT, Instagram at BT Shooting the Shizit. That's right, Shooting the Shizit without a G. Facebook Shooting the Shiznit, and Facebook Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk. If we don't like you in that group, first you have to ask to get in. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out. All of the episodes are at one place, and that's www.stspod.club. Podcast Roll Call. Who's Right Podcast. Po Boys Podcast. E3 Radio, my buddies Richard and Josh. My World with Conrad Thompson and my friend Jeff Darren. Lance's favorite include Nickology, Rock Solid, Playlist Wars, I'm Fat Podcast. Hey guys, remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.